Good morning everyone and welcome back to another day in the life video. This week we have a lighter week in terms of our class load, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a light week at all. We're going to make sure to spend that time preparing my study materials for both CAPE that's coming up, as well as my finals that are going to be coming in about a month or so from now. But there's lots to do. You can see the list of to-do items right here, right now, where I have not too much for prep work for classes, but I do have a few things outside of classes for my clinical education representative position, where I'm meeting with the clinical education faculty team to talk about some feedback about the clinical education 2 process, as well as how people thought our integrated clinical experience 2 went. And then on top of that, I now have some assignments to get going on my research project, because we are starting to get closer and closer to the actual start date of recruitment for those, so it's going to start ramping up more and more. So I'm just going to start working on those things and head over to the library. Before it gets too dark, I did want to take some time before I head back and do some errands just to kind of clean up. I brought a plastic bag and a glove for me to just clean up a little bit, because the last time I came, I noticed a lot of this trash on the ground while I was playing here, so I had a feeling it would probably be still there when I came back again, so I'm going to spend some time just cleaning that up really quick, and then I'm going to head off and do some groceries. Well, it was a pretty quick day overall in terms of classes, considering we just had neuromuscular conditions in the afternoon, where we talked about spina bifida as well as visual impairments in the pediatric population. But in the earlier morning, I did have my meeting with the clinical education team to kind of bring forth some of the feedback that I had gathered through some of the forms that I had sent out to my class about our integrated experience 2 and our clinical education 2 site selection process. There was some good conversation. We were able to kind of understand exactly where everyone was at, and then be able to move forward from there, hopefully having another chance at the beginning of next semester to talk more about our CE2 as well as the CE3 process that is going on, since we will be going to CE2 in January, and then we are applying for CE3 sites starting in March. So there's a lot going on with clinical education now, especially considering we're getting closer and closer to graduation. But that's really all that's happening today. I am going to make some dinner really quick and then try and just knock out the rest of the work that I have this week, as well as some of my research. Well, I'm a little tired already this week, but we're gonna make it through. I have some tea to try and help me through my shift at work that I'm heading off to right now, where I'm hopefully going to get done a couple things with research as well as maybe finishing off the last few things I have on my to-do list for this week as a whole, because then the whole second half of the week, especially tomorrow, because I only have class in the morning, I'll have lots of time to be able to work on studying materials and preparing things. So I'm gonna head off to work now. I'll be working from 5 until 10, and then I'm just gonna probably go straight to bed because I'm pretty tired, so I'll see you guys later. It's crazy how it's already almost 6 o'clock. It's around 5:50 right now, but I just got back from doing a little bit of studying with my study group. We were just starting to review some of the content that we'll need to know for our medical conditions case for the CAPE examination. That's coming up not next week, but the following week. So we're just trying to stay on top of it and really just review everything as fast as we possibly can, because there's definitely going to be a lot that we need to look over and be prepared for. But this morning we had a really good class for musculoskeletal conditions where we talked about pelvic health physical therapy, had some great teachers there, had some great conversations, and did lots of work in cases. So it was a really useful lab overall. But now for the rest of the night, we're going to kind of relax a little bit. We're going to have our bachelorette night. I think I'm going to try and do a little bit more of my work for research during that, as well as just knock out a few of the other things like the quiz that we have for neuromuscular conditions tonight, as well as just a few other miscellaneous things that I need to prep for tomorrow, finalizing my resume for professional development and everything. So as per usual, as of lately, it's going to be very busy, but it should be a good night overall. This morning we had a great opportunity to kind of go over our resumes and cover letters and just help each other prepare for our clinical experience 3 applications that are going to be coming up in March. And then in the afternoon we moved into movement science, where we were just talking about kind of our place within other careers workspaces and how we can do worksite analysis, talking about how we fit in with ergonomics and everything like that. So there's a lot to cover, but now I just have a short little break until I head off to work, where I'll probably knock out some more research as well as finish out the last few things that I have for this week. There's not really much, so I might start going into next week and finishing those things, since it's just going to be a short week next week, considering that Thanksgiving is on the second half of it, so we'll only have class on Monday and Tuesday. But I'm gonna get ready for work right now. That brings us to the end of the last full week of classes before our CAPE examinations. It was a great way to end it off with that volunteering with the high school students who came in. It was really cool to work with them through just a basic case and to just get to see where they're at, and already learning some of the things that are very basic to our profession, but really cool to see them doing it so early on. But this is pretty much the last week that we have full of classes before we go on Thanksgiving break, and then have our CAPE examinations right after that. Next week is going to be a short week, and as a result might be a short video, but we'll see what ends up happening. I know that this weekend we're going to have some pre-work that we need to knock out before we get back to our studying, but I am sure there's going to be tons of studying to prepare for those simulated patient experiences that are coming up. If you want to see that, please make sure to check out the video next week. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to like and subscribe down below. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been KB DPT, and I'll see you all in the next video.